Hello and welcome to another Technical Tuesday, where it's actually a Friday, but it just sounds a lot better to say Technical Tuesdays, so we're sticking with that. Anywho, so I'm going to be explaining to you why high octane fuel is absolutely unnecessary, except of course when it is necessary, in which case it does not add a performance boost to your engine, but rather it allows your already high performing engine to actually run properly. For decades now, I've been telling folks that it is all in their head when they think that their higher octane fuel gives their machine some sort of boost in performance. So today, I will either be eating a steaming load of humble pie or vindication. Now, Hot Rod, on the other hand, did someone say my name? Hello, Hot Rod. Y'all's talking about race gas, ain't you? As a matter of fact, yes, I am. Race gas is fast gas. You're sure of that? Damn, Skippy. I run octane booster in all my personal sauce. It turns 87 pump gas into 110 race gas. And look out and shout. You'll be running like a rape date. Go away. All right, yep. We'll see who's right and who's full of it. Yep. Okay, so here's the breakdown. I run 91 octane ethanol-free fuel in all of my outdoor equipment because 91 octane is what my local station has as ethanol-free fuel. If they had 87 octane, I'd buy that. But they don't, so I get 91. So in today's test, what we're going to do is we're going to be seeing if 91 octane fuel, regular ethanol-free 91 octane fuel, will be beaten by 116 octane leaded, mind you, Sunoco full tilt racing fuel. So yeah, it's exciting, right? This stuff is the real deal. And at $16 per gallon, it had better put up some damn skippy good numbers for performance. First off, we're going to run it in a saw that has average compression. We're going to run regular 91, and then we'll run the 116 in a saw that has average compression, see if it makes a difference. And then we're going to switch over to a different saw, which has a higher compression, and see if it makes a difference in that. So we're going to see if one fuel is obviously better than the other. And Hot Rod, take us away. Felt like it made a difference. I definitely had to tune it. It was running lean, so I had to give it more fuel. Just damn right don't make no damn sense to me, but let's see what it does on a high compression saw. That's a little weird. This one doesn't seem to need any fine tuning. Didn't feel like it made a difference on this one. Hell, I don't know what to think. We're going to have to go to the video. I don't know how to edit videos. I will not apologize, y'all, for looking like the cat who got the canary. Because I've been trying to tell mother truckers for decades. Decades! This shit don't make a difference. The only reason you need race fuel is if you need race fuel. Race fuel is not a power adder. Sorry, I need to take myself out of this for a minute. I'm getting emotional. It's been a long road for me. And there's been a lot of people who tell me things. And you know, people that I respect. People that should know better. If you think that high octane gives you power, then you have no idea how an engine fucking works. Here I am getting pissed again about it. Stop getting pissed. All right, so the breakdown of what race fuel is, or just simply high octane. Higher octane is a more stable fuel. If you looked at it like nitroglycerin, the old explosive, I think I'm calling it right. Maybe there's something else in it that I think it's just nitroglycerin. Anyways, the stuff that used to be used way back, horses and wagons and crap like that. And it was very unstable. If you were toting it with a horse and a wagon and you hit a rock, it could possibly explode. That would have a very, very, very low octane rating. Not a high octane rating. You're thinking nitroglycerin, right? Explosives. Like, this is crazy. This is boom, violent, dynamite, bam. It's got a very low octane rating. And I mean, I don't know what the octane rating is on it. It doesn't have one probably. But the point is the volatility of the substance. That is what octane rating means. Nothing else. It has nothing to do with performance. That, whenever you talk about performance of a fuel, what you want to be talking about is the energy that is released upon combustion. Now that is a completely different measurement. Octane has nothing to do with it. Here I am. Oh, calm down, Bodie. Calm down. This makes me very happy because I've had to deal with, I don't want to say dumbasses or fools, because they're not. They've just been told this crap for such a long time. And it's just like, it's propaganda. Okay, I don't want to get too far into something weird. It's propaganda. If you get fed propaganda enough, you start believing it, all right? In this case, the propaganda is race fuel gives you power. No, it does not. Never has, never will. All it does is, because it is a less volatile, or not, what did I say earlier? It's less temperamental, is what it is. So the higher your octane rating, the more difficult it is to get it to combust. Now, once it combusts, it has similar energy ratings, maybe a little bit higher energy ratings in the case of actual racing fuel, but like 87 versus 93 octane. Nah, there ain't no measurable difference in that you can feel with your engines. None. Okay, so the point of it is why would we need racing fuel at all if it doesn't give you power? What gives you power is high compression. The more fuel that we can pack in a cylinder, and then as that piston comes up, it really compresses it hard. Your high compression, right? Then all of a sudden, it's ignited. You get a big explosion. The compression is what gives our performance engines more power. Has nothing to do with the octane rating. Now, what the octane rating does for us, stable. That's the word that I was looking for earlier. The higher the octane rating, the more stable the fuel is. All right, so if you take 87 octane fuel and you put it in a very high compression engine with 4 strokes, what we're talking about here, I'm not sure the PSI rating. We're probably looking at 260 PSI, maybe more than that. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But your ratio, that's the way you talk about compression in 4 strokes. You say the compression ratio. So an old vehicle such as a 1975 Plymouth, right, is probably going to have like 8.5 to 1 compression ratio. which is probably similar to the Thunder Kitten. And the Thunder Kitten has high compression for a chainsaw, right? So we're looking at, the compression ratio for the Thunder Kitten would be higher than that. Because like a 1975 Plymouth would be about 145 PSI compression. Well, you take that same engine and you make it performance oriented, right? So you give it a lot more high compression. You deck the cylinders, or wait a minute. You shave the cylinder heads, or you deck the block, and you're basically changing your squish band. You put high compression pistons, which are pop-up pistons. You do all these things to add compression, right? You have smaller combustion chambers. You still got the same volume, smaller combustion chamber, much higher compression ratio. So whenever you're doing that, let's say you have an engine that produces 12.5 or to 1 compression ratio. Then if you run 87 octane in that engine, what happens is your combustion chamber here, right? And the piston's coming up and it's compressing all that 87 octane fuel. And before it gets to top dead center, which would be here, the fuel, because it is less stable, it explodes before your piston gets to top dead center where it needs to be. And that creates spark knock. Whenever it's exploding before the piston comes to top dead center. And then it comes back down. So it creates a ping in your engine. It creates a spark knock. And this is very bad for your engine. And that is why you need high octane fuel. Because you've got all this compression now because you built a high performance engine, right? All this compression. And you're coming up, you need a stable fuel. Very stable. That way, whenever you're squeezing it at that 13-to-1 compression ratio, whatever, right? The fuel does not explode before your piston hits top dead center. And then the spark, you never want it to explode based off of pressure. Then it's a diesel, right? Diesels do that. You want it to explode based off of the spark of your spark plug. Then drive it back down. So the only reason to need high octane fuel is because you have high compression. And as far as this old boy knows, there isn't a two-stroke in existence that requires high octane fuel. Maybe in the racing world somewhere, like higher octane, such as 92, 93, 95 octane maybe. But 110, 116, you wouldn't be starting that thing. Talk about hurting your arm, pulling your shoulder out. You just wouldn't be able to start it, period. I've been on some four-wheelers that were difficult to kickstart, and some dirt bikes, two-stroke, very difficult to start. But it was not so much because of compression as much as, the higher compression for sure, but it was more the mass of the piston combined with the higher compression. It was like kicking over a four-stroke big thumper, So a lot of people go, well, I've got a two-stroke that is extremely hard to kickstart. Well, I had a CR500 that literally broke my foot whenever it did a kickback. I was trying to start it. That kickstart ripped my boot. It ripped a hole in the sole of my boot and broke the bottom of my foot. Did that thing have high compression? Nope. It was a stock CR500, 1986. 87, they changed the exhaust port timing to lower the compression so that it didn't do that so much. So the 85, just a little dirt bike trivia for you. 85 and 86 Honda CR500s were the fastest of all the CR500s. Because then they lowered the compression. You lost a little bit of power, but guess what? You didn't break your foot. But that thing wasn't high compression. Best case scenario, maybe 185 PSI. Maybe, which ain't nothing. You don't need no race gas for that. Nothing, So now I will say that I was extremely surprised, borderline shocked, that the pump gas actually beat the high performance, the race gas. I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that. I figured it would be neck and neck through and through. But with the Poland, that thing's probably got, 145, 155 pounds of compression. Not much, nothing special at all. So with the Poland, I definitely needed to retune it. I don't know exactly what was up with that. I wasn't expecting that at all. But yeah, it was clearly running lean. At idle, the chain wanted to continue to turn. And then whenever I immediately goosed it off of idle, it wanted to bog and die, which is typical of a lean situation. You're not getting enough fuel for it to take off. So had to adjust it. But with the Thunder Kitten, I did not have to adjust it at all. The Thunder Kitten, by the way, is probably putting out about 185, 190 pounds of compression. Maybe a little more. I haven't actually tested it since I got it, and now that it's more broken in, it might be up there significantly higher, but I haven't checked it. But it's the highest compression saw that I have, and it absolutely did not need a retune whatsoever. It felt great. Felt really good with that race fuel, and but it was literally slower with race fuel. So, vindication for all the years that I've spent trying to explain this to people. And I don't want to say stupid, because it's not right. It's just misinformed. We believe what people that we respect and look up to. We believe what they tell us. They can be wrong. This happens with children all the time. Whenever you first learn that your parents might be a little bit full of shit, that's weird. My son just learned it with me pretty recently. And I had told him years ago, I was like, someday something's going to happen and you're going to go, oh, my dad is not a supreme being. He can make mistakes. And yeah, we're all human. And so I don't want to say that you're stupid to believe what you believe with your race fuel, or you're an idiot for running high tests in your machines that don't require it. And you can give me all that crap you want about, like, I think steel, somebody was like, oh no, the steels require, on one of the many different conversations that come up online, oh, the steel, it requires it. The 500i or whatever. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It doesn't require it. It is bullshit. Quit believing it. Stop believing it. If you know somebody that you need to point this out to, share this video, because it is real. It is a problem within our mechanical minds and our freaking community, where everybody thinks that they've got to have high octane fuel. Stop it. Even a high compression chainsaw does not require high octane fuel. I've beaten this horse, and it lays there dead. So, there you have it. Quit using high octane. If my gas station had non-ethanol 87 octane, that's what I'd use. We see no performance gain whatsoever in switching to high octane. So, you're welcome.